So, good morning, everyone. We are just waiting that everybody enter the webinar, and we will start. Actually, for the ones that are here, just be aware that we are recording the session so that at any moment you can come back to it. This presentation will be, of course, uploaded on our website so that you have access to it. So let's wait a couple of minutes and we will start. Good morning, everyone. So it's time to start our second webinar for the TrustChain Open Call 1. Thank you to be here today and to attend. So I am Caroline Barrel, the coordinator of the project, and I will speak, of course, on behalf of the consortium. All my colleagues are here and will answer to your question at the end of this small reminder. So very briefly, TrustChain is a European funded project and is part of the Next Generation Internet Initiative. It is intended to empower innovators, researchers, and end users through 5 open calls to create a portfolio of next generation internet protocol and an ecosystem of decentralized identity management software solution. Actually, up to 8.8 million euro funding and mentoring program will be provided to you applicant if you have the chance to be selected. So let's move directly to the overall objective of this project. The idea is to contribute to the next generation internet, to achieve a human-centric, trustworthy, and sustainable decentralized internet, and to embed principles of human rights, sustainability, ethics, and other human value in the solution it will deliver for trust relationship in the digital world. How we intend to proceed? First of all, the co-creation of this ecosystem with engagement of end user. We want that we answer to their real needs. So this is the first bullet. Then we want to provide, of course, democratic, transparent, traceable, and regulatory compliant mechanisms that can support any ecosystem of entities and actors participating with their digital identities. And finally, to do so, we want to leverage and use decentralized digital identity architecture together with IoT, AI, cloud to edge, DLT, and embed in such solution important societal goal in accordance with the objective of TrustChain related to trustworthiness. Regarding Open Call 1, decentralized digital identity, up to 15 projects will be selected. I just remind here that the deadline for submitting your application is the 10th of April of this year at 5 p.m. CET, and up to 117K will be delivered per project. The idea is to define, develop, and upgrade the state-of-the-art with what concerns a framework for decentralized user-centric identity management, protocol for trustworthiness assessment of entities and their data, and of course, the use and development of smart oracles assessing the trustworthiness of data. Once again, regarding the eligibility criteria and the selection process, a small reminder here. What we want from you is to utilize existing concept and technology already developed for SSI. We want your solution to be open source and ideally achieve TRL 7. So this is a goal, and of course the applicant that will ensure that this TRL can be achieved will have a better chance than the other. It does not prevent the other to, of course, propose their solution. We want also that your solution will be tested and evaluated by an adequate pool of potential users. You should provide some indication on the potential user you are going to consider in your proposal. You will see later on that you will get some support in implementing this user-centric approach. So it should not be a break for you to apply. You will get some support on that. What we want also from you is that your solution is supported by a self-sustaining business model, so that at the end, of course, your solution is exploited. And we want also that you use standard technology for full stack development, and that your solution is compatible with current standard. So who can apply? So this is developer, researchers, and innovators. And that means that it includes the academic sector as well as the private sector. So not only targeted to the private sector, research organization, university can also, of course, apply. The selection process will be done in 3 phases. So first of all, an eligibility check, where some proposal will pass this check and will be evaluated by a pool of independent and internal evaluator. if this proposal then are above threshold and among the best one, then they will be invited to an online interview. And at that time, we will, of course, select the best one for signing a sub-agreement, and the other one will be put on the reserve list. Why to apply for you? You will get equity-free funding. So the payment will be based on the result according to predefined KPI. You will see how it works when entering the program. You will have also free access to Alastria blockchain infrastructure that is compliant with Ethereum. That does not mean that it is mandatory to use this infrastructure, but if you want, you can use it. You will have also, as already mentioned, coaching support services, and in particular, access to various expertise for scaling up your business. This expertise will be mostly targeted to the user-centric design approach. So one of our partners is mainly skilled on that and will provide you with all the support to implement this specific approach for your solution. You will also receive technical advice, law, ethics, and GDPR support for your solution. And finally, also in the context of the exploitation of your solution and the joint exploitation in the context of TrustChain, you will receive also some business support. At the same time, you will get also visibility and promotion and the possibility also to network, since we have access to a wide NGI community. You will be offered also some matchmaking services between you and some potential accelerators and or venture capitalists for the one who end up implementing the solution. So that is pretty much all for me today. We intend that this webinar is mostly your webinar, meaning that you can ask us anything we want and we will answer you as much as possible. So please now, this is the time for your question. I will start reading the question in the chat box. Please enter your question and we will answer them. So actually there is no open question, so please. So when is open call 2 expected? Actually, you can expect it in 9 months from now. So yes, we will start working on the definition of this open call. We have already the bigger line and direction where we want to go. So this will be, yes, in 9 months from now. So the second question, what type of material is needed to submit the application? So I can go back to one slide that is prepared for this webinar. Actually, the entry point for all proposal is the following. So you have here the link to apply. If you go on our website, you will have the possibility to click on this link and to start submitting. For that, you have also on our website, so the TrustChain one, you have all the documents that are needed, meaning the guide for applicant, the open call document. You have also an example of the agreement you might sign if you are successful. So this is important for you to read carefully all these documents, to check carefully also the eligibility criteria that are mentioned in the guide for applicant, to take a look at the frequently asked questions on our website. Of course, to use the official TrustChain template for your proposal, you will find it also on our website in the section Apply. There you will have all the information, and also I just want to mention here that for your submission, you will have a part B that corresponds to your proposal. You will have also an administrative form that corresponds to your identification, meaning all the information related to your organization or the team of a natural person, or the information related to a consortium, depending on how you wish to apply. So everything is there. You have also the possibility to have a look to our first webinar that is more complete on that aspect. So let's move to the next question. Can participants of NGI Trublo join? So I will also answer to this one. So of course, teams that have already participated in some NGI project are welcome. The only important thing for us is that, of course, you present an original research project, an original solution or application, meaning that you have to demonstrate the novelty and make clear what is different from your previous project in this new call. So please, the next question, describe in more details the decentralized user-centric user management. Is the access to Alastria blockchain free of charge? So regarding the decentralized user-centric approach, I will leave the floor. I think that Andres is in the call also, or someone from Cyber Voluntarios. And then I will leave the floor to Rezus. So please, first of all, we are going to answer to the human-centric approach.
Can I answer, Caroline, if cyber volunteers are not there?
Yes, of course, Raj.
Yeah, I think that decentralized user-centric user management, as Caroline already mentioned, one of the main overarching aim of this call is that user has to be engaged from the early stages of designing and then validating with the end users. So the idea is one of the biggest challenges we see in decentralized technologies is they're normally vendor locked in or vendor driven. So to overcome the challenges, to bring human into the loop of the design, that's why this call is clearly highlights that the user has to be engaged from early on. So one of the partners, cyber volunteers, who have a lot of experience in terms of designing end user questionnaires and have a pool of contacts they will be supporting you through this exercise in terms of designing the questionnaires early on with the user in the loop, so that when you go on to validating or going to the pilot stage, you clearly have a way of testing and evaluating your end product or prototype or paradigm shift using the end users that you have worked with. So that is what the decentralized user-centric means, that the project has to clearly have users as part of this process. So we emphasize that quite clearly. And I'll pass it on to Jesus to answer the Alastria blockchain free of charge question next.
Yeah, thank you. So yes, the access to the Alastria blockchain network for participants, because we assume here there is not any business exploitation and source of revenues during the life cycle of the participation, then this is free of charge. What does it mean really that it is free of? Well, it may mean two things actually. One is that you are going, if you want, to be able to access the Alastria blockchain as a service. So we are going to provide one node, okay, with an API, standard JSON RPC API, the standard thing in Ethereum. So probably there is not going to be any difference that you notice, except that you have to access to this endpoint, and then you can focus on your applications. Or alternatively, if you need more flexibility, you can deploy your own node if you want, and then this node is going to participate in the Alastria network. And of course, you will have to be, let's say, paying for the operation of your node, because it's going to be your node, you operate. It's not going to be, I mean, operating a node, a blockchain node like this is very, very cheap, okay? But you will have to support and operate the whole node, and then to keep it alive or maintain this for your application. So then, again, as a summary, you will be able to access the Alastria blockchain as a service, blockchain as a service. But in reality, this is we have several blockchains, okay? But the Alastria blockchain is not as a service thing. This is just for facilitating to you access to the blockchain. Ideally, you would be able to participate with your own node, and then you can do whatever you want. You can deploy whatever you want, but with some rules, okay? Because you have to not abuse the network, because this is just an experiment, and then you cannot just deploy production applications, okay, with this type of access. If you want to run a real production application in the Alastria blockchain, then you have to be at least a member of Alastria. But we don't think this is going to be the case here in the applicants, okay? For the applicants. That's it.
Thank you, Regis. Thank you, Raj. So next question, must every member of the team be based in the EU if the applicant can achieve TRL 7 and the proposal should be legally established in the EU? I know probably yes, however, maybe some criteria could be flexible. So regarding that aspect, you have in the guide for applicant a clear mention on who can participate. And actually, of course, to be part of the EU member state is one of these criteria. There is also a second mention. You probably know that some third-party country can also participate in this project. So I advise you to go on the guide for applicant and really see there who is eligible or not. In any case, there won't be any flexibility. We will respect these rules that are edicted by the European Commission. So please have a careful look to that. Regarding the TL7, this is, I mean, your eligibility is important to be here, because this is the first thing that we are checking. I mean, if you are not eligible, then your proposal cannot be evaluated. So I hope that I was clear enough on that point. And we may go to the next question. Is the method of financing lump sum, or do we have to prepare financial report? So I will also take this question. So this is a lump sum funding, meaning that you will receive the sum that I have aforementioned, so 170k euro. Of course, this money has to be dedicated to the project, but we will not ask you at each stage some financial report. And I just want here to recall that there will be for payment linked to some deliverables that are mandatory. So take care of this in the implementation section. I just encourage you to go back to the applicant guideline. You will see there which deliverables are mandatory and which one thus are linked to the payments. So next question. How is the financial reporting if the project application is successful? Are the funds lump sum, and do we have to report the spending for staff costs, travel, and direct equipment? So I believe we just answered it before, so no need to expand more on that one. Next one, can we start the F6S submission and complement it on the go? So Daniel, do you want to answer this one?
Sure. Thank you, Caroline. Yes, so you can start the F6S submission anytime within the timeline for submit your submission, and you have to complete it by the deadline. So you can start anytime and complete before the deadline ends. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. Next question, can we have the Alastria API description in advance, please? So, Jesus.
Yes, you will have the description of the API, but as I said, the API is standard Ethereum. Actually, for example, when I am developing applications, I never look at the Alastria interfaces because it is fully compatible with Ethereum. Well, fully compatible or mostly very, very compatible because this is a permission blockchain network. Actually, the thing is compatible with the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance specifications, okay, that in addition to the standard JSON RPC API, which is standard in Ethereum, you have the private transactions, and private transactions can be very powerful when implementing, for example, GDPR compliant things and so on. Okay, so in any case, there is some documentation in the website, and then we will provide even the mentoring, because I saw there some things about this, some support on how to use Alastria, because this is again a let's say a permission blockchain, okay, and a permission blockchain without cryptocurrencies embedded. So you don't have Ether, you don't have all these fluctuations of price. This is just an infrastructure, and then the standard API on top of this, the standard Ethereum API. Okay, but we will provide support for this. and there is something in the website. Even though you will not find in Alastria a repeat or a copy of the standard Ethereum APIs, because this is just standard Ethereum. So if you have a smart contract, for example, written in Solidity, which is working in specifically, for example, for self-sovereign identity or for traceability or whatever, if you have this working in Ethereum, most probably it works without any change at all in the Alastria blockchain network. Okay, but we will provide any information which is different, essentially because of permissioning. Okay.
Thank you, Jesus. Next question: is the cost of second person provided by third party free of charge and eligible cost? So as it is a lump sum, of course, I mean, if it goes in the sense of the project, if this third party is hired for the project, yes, you can use it. So next question. Will Alastria support SSI beyond documentation available on the net, like coaching to implement the solution? So Jesus has in part answer to this. I don't know if you want to add something more.
Yeah, I would like to add something more because, okay, this is because one thing is the standard API for your developments, okay, so nothing to do, and then with self-sovereign identity or whatever, because you can use Alastria as a blockchain network. Then Alastria has a self-sovereign ID implementation, but you are not forced to use this, okay, because specifically because in Alastria we have focused on let's say what I call the mainstream identity system and so on. So yes, you can use it for your use case if you want, but you can bring your own. You can develop your own things which are innovative, are advanced to the state of the art, specifically for more, let's say, not supporting the traditional banking systems or whatever, but human things, different types of, for example, identity. When I say different types of social identity, I don't know, whatever you can think of which is useful for the next generation internet in the terms of self-sovereign identity, you can bring, and you are not forced to use anything else, not even the Alastria blockchain network. Okay, the Alastria is there if your applications are Ethereum compatible, but it could be anything as long as it brings some innovation to the field of self-sovereign identity for humans. Okay, so then, beyond documentation and so on, if you want to use the Alastria existing self-sovereign identity, of course, we will provide support, okay? But again, you are free to use whatever you want, okay?
Thank you, Jesus. Next question. Since you are a European project, can it also happen that there will be some review for the sub-granted project, content and financial-wise? If yes, do we need to prepare the financial reporting according to this? We are a public university and we need to be sure on this. So actually, there will be some review because I just mentioned that there is 4 deliverables that are mandatory. This according to the result, according to the outcome of this deliverable, it will unlock the payment that is linked to this deliverable. So that means that this deliverable will be evaluated by a pool of evaluators. So it will be mostly internal evaluator to the consortium, but also some people of the TrustChain advisory board. There will be, of course, a consensus on this deliverable. So this is for the content part. Regarding the financial aspect, as it is a lump sum, we will not, as project, go deeply into your cost statement. I just advise you to keep track of what how you are using the fund, but it will, if there is any kind of audit, it will not come from the TrustChain consortium. But I believe that if you are a university, in any case, you have to have some track of how the fund has been employed. So I hope I was clear enough on that one. Let's move to the next question about the deliverable 4 final business plan. Does it need to have also market entry strategy? So hopefully Thanasis from AUEB is here today. Thanasis, can you answer this question?
Caroline, unfortunately, Thanasis is not in the session.
Thanasis is not here. So, Vlado, do you want to answer the question?
Yes, I mean, hello, everybody. So market penetration plan is, of course, an important aspect because starting from the very beginning of these projects, there should be a clear business potential in mind for those that are implementing them. So we've seen really a lot of projects already, such as those of TrueBlow, Chase, OntoChain, and other projects that have produced high quality scientific results. And what we now want to see is also this challenge on the side of the market potential. So there should be some clear, I don't think that this should be funded by the project, but the participants should actually have a clear idea of how the applications are going to be deployed, what is the business value of the created applications and services, and how they could be used in real world practice, how the revenue distributes among the contributors, the infrastructure providers, the service providers, other actors. So maybe by considering multi-sided markets and things like that. So all this, I think, should be presented very, very clearly, shortly, but very clearly in the project preparation time, and also during the lifetime of the project. We are aiming at a clear understanding of the business potential of those solutions. So that's basically it.
Thank you, Vlado. Let's move to the other question. Hello, can we apply to build the actual platform based on blockchain that will enable our stakeholders to interact? So Vlado, if you want.
I'm just trying to trace. This is, I'm not clear with this question. Apply to build the actual platform.
Vlado, I was going to say maybe Katarina could explain a little more the questions, because I understood something at the beginning, but right now rereading the question, I don't know exactly what it means. Okay, but in any case, if the question means that you, if you want to build the whole thing, the actual platform based on blockchain that will enable our stakeholders to interact. Okay, no, I think I need more explanation on this. Okay,
I would only like to highlight at this point that what we are building in this project in the first open call is a set of services that clearly address the needs for the use of the digital identity. We see the digital identity as something that unlocks the potential of decentralized, sustainable, and otherwise, let's say, human right and sustainability compliant applications that we want to build in Europe. So we are looking for 15 high-quality projects that have a clear understanding of how the digital identity would and should work and actually work in practice. Because without this, we cannot build additional applications in the next stages of the project. So all these applications could be imagined as a service or could be placed in specific application domains. However, I mean, even if the identity is just a single kind of service, all this project should yield some solutions towards the digital identity that can be used in the next stages to achieve privacy, to achieve sustainability and other aspects. So this is why we feel this Open Call 1 is so important to the TrustChain project. And we are looking for really clear designs that are also by themselves, by the concepts included, also sustainable, also feasible, also in business terms. Thanks.
Thank you, Vlado. Yeah, I wanted to add that there are no limitations, I would say, okay? As Vlado has said, and he has explained this perfectly, the focus is on self-sovereign identity. But if you need to build something like you call the actual platform based on blockchain, whatever, okay? Whatever you need, but the focus is innovation on the self-sovereign identity, solving the challenges that the current status of the art in self-sovereign identity has. Then you can do whatever you want. Okay, that's very open, but this is the reality. Okay, because we are focusing on the solutions for self-sovereign identity challenges. Point. Okay.
Thank you, Vlado, and thank you, Jesus. I believe that if you need more information, or if Vlado and Jesus do not really answer to your question, please feel free to elaborate on this in a next question. So
she has already done that.
Yes.
Sorry, guys. She has already put the question at the end of it. So maybe you can answer or you can come back later to it. So it's at the end of the chat at the moment.
That we are at this question probably. I think we can read this, right?
Yeah. Yes, let's stay on this question, and I will read the complement bring by Katarina. Yes, I can explain more. We are starting an accelerator that supports SUSTech startup. We are looking to build a platform that will have a digital twin for each SUSTech startup that will be part of our acceleration quadruple helix model. I'd be happy to connect with one of you later and provide more detail. Thanks. So yes, I mean, if it's related to the open call 1, please, Katarina, elaborate on your question here so that everybody can have access to our answer.
Yeah,
I don't know if Jesus or Vlado.
Well, no, I mean, I think the question is already well explained. At least for me. I mean, if you are, but this is something special. Okay, this is let's say an ecosystem or an accelerator for startups, and then they have to connect. They have to use the system. They have to identify, because if you want a digital twin for a startup, you need a digital identity for the startup. So then, if the digital identity is solved, let's say, in ways that advance the state of the art, and it's not just user ID and password, okay? Then yes, of course, anything related to self-sovereign identity, and you can bring the whole platform just for demonstrating the whole thing. Again, focus is on the self-sovereign. But if you need to bring whatever you need in order to explain how you solve the digital identity of the digital twins, fine for us, I would say. Okay.
May I add a little bit? So you could also imagine, for example, that you have one network, even a blockchain. So we are talking about digital wallets in terms of EPSI activities, and also about digital wallets in the context of EIDAS 2. So this is an aspect that is the edge computing aspect, the wallet without any other blockchain or anything like that. Then is the case of let's say the marketplace, where all these identities can interact, coming with their privacy and security, but they can selectively share information on any digital marketplace to the extent that they're being trusted and can do their business, whatever kind of business they intend to do. And the third aspect is the global, let's say, aspect that is achieved through the use of infrastructures like blockchains, where you could also have maybe global management, global transactions that are completely transparent, and people and governments can see them for the purposes of regulation. In addition to this, one could imagine, for example, specific networks that deal solely with the digital identity, and can be linked to other networks that deal with, for example, access to data and off-chain data in addition to this. And then you can think of an extra layer of networks that are dealing with other aspects, like, you know, the use of AI or digital twins, and I don't know, whatever technologies one could think about. So this is really, on one side, exploratory call about the digital identity, but we're really looking for even new and mind-blowing scenarios that are as simple in concept and can really scale to the scale of all users, potential users of the internet. So just maybe too long, but just for the participants to get an idea of the possibilities or the types of applications that could be related to the digital identity. Thank you.
Thank you once again to Vlado and Jesus. I hope that you have had enough information now regarding that aspect. So let's move to the next question. Is the grant only for the development stage project? If we have already a MVP or an online version, will it be possible for us to receive the funding? So, Vlado, do you want to answer?
Yes. There should be a clear representation in this project of what would be the delta. So we need, and we are going to instruct the reviewers to clearly assess the current status of the proposal, meaning you need to be really clear what are the resources you already have and the type of concepts and whatever is the starting baseline for your project. And then you need to clearly specify for the funding that is provided in this project and the coaching and, you know, coding or whatever we provide to your project as part of our core activities. There is this delta, clearly described delta, that you are going to achieve in the course of the project. So the beginning line and the end line should be really clearly described in your proposal. So we are not against having or starting with something. This is really great, but we need to see what you're gonna do in the course of the project with a clear specification inside your proposal. Thanks.
Thank you, Vlado. Next question. Can we have the recording of this webinar? So Daniel, if you want to jump in.
Okay, so you will receive a link to the webinar recording after the session. I don't know if today or tomorrow. And you can access through our social media channels and also in the website. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. Next question, do get more points if we use Alastria tools? Jesus, if you want.
No. No, actually, just a small clarification, okay? Just for the people who don't know Alastria. Alastria is a non-profit. We don't make any business. Actually, the tools and networks, okay, are operated not by Alastria, are operated in a collaborative fashion by all the members. So Alastria does not operate the network or as blockchain as a service or whatever. When I said at the beginning that you could access the Alastria blockchain network or the networks in a blockchain as a service way, it means that in this case, because we are in this project, in order to help you, the participants, Alastria is going to operate a node that you can access. But that's a node for accessing the network. The network is not operated by Alastria. Self-sovereign identity things that Alastria has developed, they don't belong to the Alastrian Blockchain Association. They belong collectively, well, actually they are open source, to the members. And then anything in Alastria is done by the members. So if the members decide that, for example, a new blockchain technology or a new tool that you may use, if the members think this is interesting, then the members can propose to Alastria to help coordinate the initiative. But that's it. So the Alastria Blockchain Association is just dedicated to the promotion of blockchain applications and blockchain infrastructures. Point. Okay, so then you don't get more points. I would say that you would get more points if you bring something interesting to the table, and then we may try to convince the members to implement collectively the whole thing. But again, collectively and collaboration is the only thing to do things in Alastria. No other way.
Yes, I think if I may add to this, I think it's a great point that you raised, Jesus, that actually by participating in this project and providing a clear and very nice solution deployable on these infrastructures, you can raise the attention of the highest levels across Europe, the European Commission, that are actively viewing the developments, and there could be really high impact based on some really innovative and clear solutions. So this is an opportunity, and it should be viewed also in this way.
Yeah. No, that's a very good point, Vlado. The important thing here is that if something is interesting and so on, we will make sure that it gets a lot of visibility. Okay, anything which is in this project. Okay, this is our mission here also. It's not just to help you financially, but if trying to get awareness of the community, so then somebody else could take up. Okay.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Vlado. So next question. Can we get the presentation or have it uploaded on TrustChain website? So it was already answered by Daniel a few minutes earlier. So no need to expand more on that. Next question. Digital identity is an important topic within EPSI. How do you see interaction, synergy between EPSI and TrustChain solution? So maybe this is also a question for Jesus.
Yeah, and maybe if you can put the presentation, oh, sorry, the slide on the architecture reference framework and the European identity wallet, because that's a good question. Okay, and then I think
here it is.
I still don't see that. Okay, yes, this one. Okay, so what is the relationship? Well, actually, for example, I am part of the technical governance group in EPSI. Okay, I know what is being done, and the idea here is that in reality should be complementary. Okay, it's not just a big thing in EPSI, it's also a big thing in general in Europe, because you may know that in addition to EPSI, you have right now, or it was announced some weeks ago, very recently, a document detailing a version, okay, an initial version of the European Digital Identity Wallet Architecture and Reference Framework. Okay, you can look at the source, which is there, and then the idea is that this, you have EPSI, okay, and then you have this EIDAS2 regulation which is coming, and then you have the new European Digital Identity Wallet which is coming and is going to be implemented. Then in addition to EPSI, you have several projects which are part of the Digital Europe program. For example, you have the so-called large-scale projects in order to develop in some use cases the systems using a prototype of the digital identity wallet. If you don't know about all of this, I recommend you to look at them, okay? Because this is the mainstream digital identity thing. This is being developed together with the supporting regulation. There are some, let's say, principles in the architecture reference framework, which some are more detailed than the others, okay, but those are the principles. Then you have EIDAS2, which is the familiar name or the family name for the proposal of amendment to the existing EIDAS regulation. So we will have a new EIDAS2 regulation supporting the self-sovereign identity principles, essentially, okay, and a wallet, and then you will have providers, testers, whatever, okay. Now, this is what is coming in the European identity system, but digital identity is very complex. It will take a lot of time to cover all the possible use cases, specifically on those areas where, for example, are not mainstream. And this is what I mean. What is the definition of mainstream digital identity? It's difficult to solve, but you see many initiatives right now, for example, for travels. There is one large-scale pilot focusing on travels, documents, and payments for travel, and so on. I mean, if you are trying to solve or reinvent the wheel on this specific use case, probably you will not have any chances, because this is already being solved by the mainstream digital identity. But there are many areas, there are many things. Digital identity, again, is very, very complex, because at the end we need different types of digital identities. For example, reputation-based, social identities, whatever, okay? Complementary to the mainstream. So again, architecture reference framework should be used as guiding principles, but the use cases should not be limited by the architectural reference framework or by the current initiative in EPSI. Alignment is very good, because those projects, including EPSI, are being developed, in the case, for example, of EPSI, by all the European Union countries, plus Norway and Liechtenstein, I think, okay? So they agree on many things, they comply with the regulation, they are intended for the public administration. So having them in mind as a guide is very important, but you are not limited to that. There are many problems that right now are not solved by EPSI or by the future or the large scale pilots. There are many. So you have to bring into the table something which is innovative, is focused on the human-centered way of digital identity, how to support some communities, how to support some use cases which are not, again, going to be solved by the mainstream digital identity. That's the problem. Okay, so it's not an empty field. It's some areas are already being, let's say, supported very well by EPSI and the initiatives, the large-scale projects on the European Digital Identity Wallet. But there are many, many, many other things which are not being solved at this moment. And what we want is to gather these innovations and then provide visibility. So at the end, it may go back to the regulation or even to the EPSI blockchain network, so they can implement this in a proper way. But again, EPSI and the European Digital Identity Wallet initiative are very important. They are going to be, let's say, the backbone of the future digital identity of Europeans. But there are many other areas. Those are the areas that are looking for innovation.
Thank you, Jesus.
Hi, may I add something from my side?
Yes.
Yes. So first, sorry, since I joined a little bit later, I am in charge of the human-centered approach. I want to talk now because I cannot stay much further from 12. And I believe there might be some issues raised about that. And there was some before which I could attend, but I wasn't able to properly give any feedback. So regarding the user-centric approach, which was said before, I think what we want to transmit to you is that you should have users in mind. So who are the users going to be? How are they going to interact? What are their characteristics and needs? So think, for example, in terms of accessibility, think in terms of easiness, of friendliness, of using the things. Try to jump out a little bit from a developer's mind and go more into what kind of people may use these and for what. Our position here is as Active Voluntarios, as user-centric approach experts, is to assist and accompany you. So don't be afraid about that. Is our first let's say recommendation is to think about users. Our second recommendation is to consult and rely on us whenever the project is on, and also see what's on the applicant's guide, because in there you have the principles, the steps to follow to properly implement and do this user-centric approach at this stage. It was just this brief intervention because I would need to leave not far from now, but thank you for giving me the floor, and I hope it solves some doubts.
Thank you, Andres. So let's move to the next question. So let's move to the next question. Can we expect some kind of regulatory legal advice from the TrustChain support framework during the course of the project development? So I think that this question is dedicated to Ruben. Please, Ruben.
Sorry, Caroline, Ruben had to leave the session. Sorry.
Okay, so I will answer to this. One of the partners in the TrustChain consortium is Timelex, that is an IT law expert. And according to your question, of course, you will get some support if you are successful. So whatever advice you need from this partner, you will be able to ask and have fruitful discussion regarding your project development on that aspect. So that's it from my side. Is there any other question?
Caroline, there are some questions that Raj answered directly, so they have disappeared from the list. Probably, if you can go to the answered, for example, I saw that there's one saying, is usage of SSI required? More specific, the IDs.
Maybe does Jesus, please, if you know the one, just read them and.
Yeah, well, let me answer because I saw,
Yeah.
but this is because that was answering. One question is, how are evaluators assigned?
So actually, I don't know, Raj, do you want me to answer or do you want to answer directly?
No, I answered. I think the evaluators will be assigned based on the project nature and what kind of expertise that would be required. So obviously you cannot assign projects to reviewers or expert panel who doesn't have expertise. So it'll be assigned based on the type of project and what kind of expertise that is needed to evaluate the project.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then
actually, Jesus, I can also complement a little bit. In fact, there will be a matchmaking between the keyword that you provide in the administration form of your proposal with the keyword of the expert that will be enrolled in the project. So to complement the answer of Raj, yes, there will be some link, and obviously the external expert and the internal one that will evaluate your proposal will be skilled on your proposal.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Jesus?
Well, no, another one, because Raj, just to be clear, I'm reading them because answering them directly in the chat. This is for the webinar, okay? So they are recorded in the answer. So yes. The other question is usage of SSI required? More specific DIDs?
So this is not required. This is really nice. We know that there are some standards movements like the DIDs and SSI, and then we know about the IDAS and so on. But this is an also explorative call. So if there is any other and better solution towards the digital identity, of course, this is also possible to apply with such a proposal. However, we know about these mainstream developments nowadays, and these are really very big movements. So this, I guess, it's clear to the participants. So any new idea should really overcome any drawbacks of existing approaches that have been agreed across the industry and the world, like SSI and EIDAS and so on.
Mm-hmm. Okay, next one. Where can we review or download the slides you are referring to answer the questions during the webinar? Okay. Well, the answer is that the whole presentation, I mean, the presentation has some slides which have not been presented, just they were ready to be used depending on the answer. For example, the one that I used, okay? But the whole presentation, Caroline, correct me if I'm wrong, is going to be uploaded, including everything which was...
Yes, the whole presentation will be, of course, uploading, and Daniel just mentioned that it will be maybe for today or tomorrow, not later. Actually, many of these slides are already part of the recording of the webinar one, so you can also have access to it there. It's already on our social channel, so you will have access in any case to everything.
Mm-hmm.
From your side, Jesus, any other question?
I think there is only one missing from the ones that were not read. Okay, is the funding going to be primarily allocated towards topics concerning human identity?
The answer I gave was yes. This call is purely focusing on human identity, because that is why we emphasize that humans should be engaged from the beginning, and it should be a human-centric design. So it shouldn't include objects or any other things as part of this call.
Well, at least let me add something. I mean, if you need to associate some objects to some human identity, then of course you can include the. I would say that you can include the objects, but those are not the main things. The main thing is human-centric identity. Okay. Okay, and that's it. Then there is only one open, I think.
So there is only one question. Thank you, Jesus and Raj. So the last one, for providing new highly usable software solution, that means the solution readiness must match go-to-market phase. Shall I read it again? So for providing new highly usable software solution, does that mean that the solution readiness must match go-to-market phase? Vlado, if you want to answer.
Why not? This is like a really call which is explorative on both sides. On the side of usability of technology is one side, and the other side is groundbreaking new technology to deal with the digital identities. So any of these two challenges being met in your project would be really something of a very great achievement, and something that we would love to fund as a project. So go-to-market would be if there are projects that fit into this readiness, would be really great to have. But we are aware that in some such situations, this requires really a lot of still innovation and still a lot of technology development. So we would be looking to the highlights in these two domains.
Just if I may add, because Caroline said at the beginning, okay, that's very good to have, but it's not a hard requirement. Okay, so what we are aiming at is minimum or ideally TRL 7, technical readiness level 7, okay, which is not production ready, okay? But that's again is even ideal. So even less than TRL 7, if they are good and then they are innovative and so on, they have a chance, okay? The closer to the market, the go-to-market phase they are, the better. But that's not a hard requirement. Okay, I would say.
Excellent.
So it generates one other question. I think that we can only take one or two more questions, and then we will have to stop. So the next question, still from the same person.
No, I already answered that.
Okay.
So ideally TRL 7, but even 7 is not a hard requirement, and so the word ideal. Ideally TRL 7. If it is bigger than or higher than TRL 7, of course, fantastic. 9 would be incredible, but that's not the requirement. Okay.
So also TRL 6 would be really great to have. And of course, the assessment would be based on assessment of the reviewers and the reviewers in this call of what is provided as a starting or a baseline, and what can be realistically achieved in the course of the project. So these are the 2 points that we also need to evaluate as part of the evaluation process.
Thank you, Vlado. Thank you, Jesus. From my side, I do not see any other question. So I think we can stop here for today. I just want to remind you that there will be a last webinar the 3rd of April. So, of course, you can participate. The idea will be still to answer to your question. So do not hesitate to be here again this final week of preparation of your proposal, and ask us anything that you want. I hope we have been able to answer to your question today. I wish you a good day and all the best for your proposal. I don't know if my colleagues here want to add something more. Okay, seems not. So looking forward to see you and to see your application. Bye-bye.
Bye.